Today, I'm excited to feature to you one of my plant collections called Ctenanthe Setosa. Did I say Setosa? I should say Ctenanthe Setosa. This plant, Ctenanthe Setosa, they are native of South America, mainly Brazil. This plant is so beautiful. The reason why I purchased this one because of their beautiful leaves, and it has a variegation of grayish color. The leaves has dark linings on the leaves, and then in between the linings has this grayish color tone to it. And if you look at the underneath, it has this maroon purplish tone to it. And when I purchased this one, I have this for almost close to a year now, but I haven't introduced them to you before. These are relatives of the Calatheas and the Marantas, and I have featured the Marantas before. As a matter of fact, these are prayer plant also. Like this one, the Maranta that I have over here, this is also a prayer plant because during the evening time, the leaves will raise up and sometimes they curl, reaching above. It's like they are praising and adoring their maker who created them. That's why I was so intrigued by these plants called prayer plants, because it reminds me that I need to have a daily prayer. I have this in a shorter version, the Maranta, and I said to myself also, not only because I'm attracted to the leaves, but because since it's bigger, I could see better, and it reminds me more better that I need to really pray so hard. The temporary requirements for this plant requires 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. If you live in the temperate zones of the world, these are perfect as a house plant. What I did, I put it in an area where there's a fluorescent light above it, and normally this plant requires a bright light requirements, indirect sunlight, but they were able to acclimatize in the area where I put this plant. Is actually just a medium to light, the intensity of the light, but they were able to acclimatize to the environment. This plant is easy to grow. There's a tendency that some of the leaves probably will turn into brown if you miss watering them. To gauge when it's about time for this plant to be watered, 1 to 2 inches deep. And if you feel that soil is very dry, then that's about time to water this plant again. But if you live in the tropical regions of the world, these plants can be planted outdoors all year round, but I recommend that these plants should be planted in a shady areas, because this plant doesn't like scorching heat, because the leaves would be burned if you plant them with a direct sunlight. They prefer in a shady areas. But if you live in the temperate zones, they can also be planted outdoors if your zones is 10 to 11. For soil, make sure you select a good draining soil. To propagate this plant has lots of side shoots, so you could propagate this plant by division. Sometimes they flower, tiny flowers, but the main thing you will enjoy are the leaves of this plant. If you plant them in a dark area, it brightens that area. So I recommend this plant to add that into your collection if you are a plant addict like me. What? Did you say plant addict? Yeah, because sometimes plants are addicting. It's fun gardening. What I recommend to you also, periodically to wipe the leaves top and underneath to remove any dust because they could breathe better if there's no dust to it. If you plant this in the interiors, you will be surprised that there will be dust everywhere. And even though your windows are closed, you will be wondering where they're coming from. But anyway, to maintain this plant, periodically you need to wipe them. That way, it's a way also of checking if there's any pests or diseases to it. Alright. And I hope that you enjoy this episode. If you like it, please like, subscribe, and share. God bless you all.